Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel, and I am in my new shop room. I actually packed a few orders this morning in here and it was so weird. Weird in a good way. It's gonna be nice not having to mess up the kitchen counters and get polyfill everywhere. I can just have everything in this space and I love it. I love having a dedicated room for the shop and the shop plans. I can come in here and work, print, labels, just everything in here, and I'm so excited to share with you the space. I will say the space is like 95% completed. I'm still working on organizing some things, and we are going to have a packing desk in here. That's the only thing that's missing. So in the middle of the floor, I'm going to have I think it's like a motorized electric desk, so that it can go to our height. So when we're in here packing, it's going to be comfortable and not painful for my back. I was chatting with hubby and I just was telling him like I really wanted, so the bed, we had a bed that was in here in this corner, and it was like a guest bed. It wasn't really used, and I just was kind of annoyed with the carpet in here, and I would do plant care and just make a mess on the carpet. Plants and carpets just for me do not vibe, so I really wanted the flooring in here. So I was able to get the flooring, and then we reached out to somebody, a contractor, who was able to do the flooring like pretty much that same week. So we kind of got lucky. We didn't have to wait very long. It was literally like me talking with my husband about, doing this, and then literally that same week we went out and got the flooring, and then I think we got in touch with him over the weekend and he was able to come out and do it on Wednesday. So yeah, within really a span of a week and a half, we had like completely redid this room. So Wednesday I was moving everything out of here. It was a disaster. I had the plant shelves out in the dining area and I had them plugged in so they could still get light, but just to take everything off, move the shelves, we had to get the bed out of here. We had to take everything out of the closet that was in here. There was just so much junk, and I had another big shelf, and yeah, Wednesday was like an all-day thing getting this room completely empty. And I also had to do some plant watering too in between all that, and I was doing some plant care. And then Thursday, I think he got here like 9:30 in the morning, and he was done by like 4. Like within 6 hours, the flooring was done, completely done. And so that evening, I was cleaning in here. I had steamed the walls, like I completely sanitized. There was stuff that needed to be patched up on the walls. I actually had a hanging rod above this window in front of me with some plants, so I took that down. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I was nonstop. I had ordered 2 more of these black wire shelves, and I think they got here Friday evening, and so I put those together on Saturday, and that took like pretty much an entire day in itself, was building the shelves, getting all the wiring set back up on a timer, and then putting the shelves all in here. And then after adding the shelves in, I was working on getting the desk and everything in here. I had to rehang my calendar and sign, and then I had a bunch of patchwork and repairing to do out in the dining room. And then where this desk was out in the dining room, I completely redid that area. But for the most part, everything is pretty much done in here, and I'm excited to share with you what the space is going to look like from here on out and kind of my plan, and I'll walk you through all that. So without further ado, let me go ahead and show you the space. All right, here is the space, you guys. The flooring looks so good in here. It's crazy that we had carpet in here like a week ago. It seems like the flooring had always been in here. It's just a continuation of the flooring that we already have. This here that you're seeing right in front, so pretty much this was all out in the dining area. I did have to get a small shelf to put the printer and stuff on, because the other shelf that I had that stuff on is now in the closet with the packing supplies. So I decided to put the desk in this corner. I felt like it made the most sense for the space in here. And then I rehung my sign and calendar. And then it's also right next to the window, so I can easily look outside if I want to. And this is where I'll come and edit and do like filming work as well. The printer is over here. This is where I print all the shipping labels. And so this is my photo plant station here, this little light box. So when I do the listings and I prep for all that, I yeah, get this all set up to take the photos. And this cart and this cart are kind of like my supplies. I have a lot of nursery pots. I have my tags, my labels, gloves, cleaning supplies, my substrates. I have some here and then some here. And if I'm using moss or something else, I can find some other substrates here. And then I have obviously like my bigger bulk storage out in the garage of some things. And then I have seedling trays. I have some other like cups and stuff here. Here in the closet, so this is the desk that I did have my printer and stuff on. So we use this for shipping supplies. So this is just a small portion of the boxes. We have 2 shelves out in the garage with just boxes. So I brought in some like popular sizes that I use all the time. I have 2 boxes of heat packs that are 72 hours and 96 hours. So I'll need those come winter again. I have tape and paper. I also have my insulation in here. And then I have more up top with the polyfill. And then I have some extra supplies that were on that shelf up here. So I have like a bunch of glass vases and some extra photography stuff. And then that's my old humidifier that I don't use anymore. So yeah, this is everything that will pretty much be used on packing day. So when it's not packing day, I can just keep that shut. I still have the Costco desk back here, this gray one. So it's just behind the door, so it doesn't take up space. And so the biggest change that you'll see is we added this wire shelf here to replace the other shelf. And that shelf is actually just outside the doorway. I'm gonna show you because we couldn't fit my substrates in here. That was the only thing. So I sell pon and my aeroid mix. And so we actually moved that shelf out to the dining area, and that's where we're gonna store that stuff. So when it comes packing day, if I need something, I can just go right around the corner, grab it and bring it in here. So these 3 shelves in front of me are the shelves that have been in here. And then we added a 5th shelf on this side right here. And I accidentally ordered the wrong color of lights. I was so upset. So the 2 new shelves, the lights are like a white pink versus I think I ended up getting the yellow for these shelves. And I thought in my head, like, do I want to just exchange them so that they're all the same? But then I don't think I want to go through the effort of like reinstalling the Verena lights again, because I had already installed all the lights on here. I had already like zip tied everything, secured them all, and I just don't think I want to like redo all that. I ended up sticking with the white. I know they make the black ones now, but since these ones have the white already, I figured I might as well just keep them like all consistent. But now the color is off, but that's okay. It doesn't really bug me too much. So this shelf here is going to be my dedicated shop shelf, minus the bottom row here. Those are my anthurium seedlings. That's all that I have left. I have these seedlings here that are already packaged. They're ready for like to package up. So if anyone orders my 2 set of seedlings, that's what these are. So I think I have 10 of those already packaged up. The rest of the seedlings are in that little dome, and then I've started potting some of them up into substrate because I'm going to sell these as like a single plant. Like that one here is getting ready to it's growing, so I feel like that one would be ready for sale soon. That's what they look like in there. And then these are some plants that are on, actually I just have 2 plants that are on my shop currently. I have this Dischidia and then this Monstera Peru variegated. So those are on my site currently. They haven't sold as of this morning. So normally during a restock, I would have 3 of those trays. So my goal is to fill this up with plants for the restock. So later this week, I'm going to pull from my inventory some plants that are ready, and then I'll move them over here, and then I'll work on getting their photos taken and making sure that they're staked and they're labeled and everything. And then once I get their photos taken, I'll work on getting them listed on my site. So I would look for a restock probably, I'm thinking probably Friday, but it could be Thursday, it depends, because I have a lot of filming and catching up to do as well for YouTube. So it'll be Thursday or Friday, but I'll send a newsletter out. So this end shelf is now strictly Hoyas. I wanted a dedicated Hoya shelf. And at one point I only had 2 bins of Hoyas left. And so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 7 bins of Hoya props growing. And then I can do 1, 2, 3. I could do 3 more Hoya props. And then these two here are kind of mixed plants. So monsteras, pothos, philodendron, any kind of other plant that's not an alocasia are on these two shelves. And then this one, I made a strictly alocasia shelf because I feel like I have a lot of alocasia, so I wanted a dedicated shelf to them. And then I have some corms growing here on a heat mat. And then I have an extra shelf on the bottom that has the grow light, so eventually this whole thing will probably be filled with alocasia. I have some that need to get potted up, and then I have some that are probably ready for sale up there. These ones I potted up not that long ago. And then I also have like a rare alocasia section, so I have some plants in here that are growing, and then I also have some more that I potted up in here. So I normally have been shipping plants in my tree fern and perlite mix. And so I wanted to try kind of some semi-hydro out. Look at this. This is one of my Regal Shield elbow pops. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep this one for me or not because, you know, my mother plant reverted. So I actually have a few pops that I'm debating on keeping. But this will be kind of stratum, perlite, and pawn is the new little mix. Here's another one back here. So this is a alocasia pink nobilis, and so that's the substrate. So I did ship one plant in it already, so I feel like it'll be good for alocasia. That way they won't go completely dry. You know, as dry as the tree fern, it dries pretty quickly. And I feel like for those who prefer to go directly to semi-hydro, this will be good for that, and that way you don't have to like worry about transferring substrates or anything like that. So that is the plan anyway. And I do need to go corm hunting very soon because that's all of my corms that I have left. I have some more rare corms in here. Oh, is that one of my, oh no, that might be, none of my pink mint caprias have sprouted yet. I have another pink nobilis and I have another pink black velvet. And then I think that's another couple mint polys. But yeah, I'm really behind on getting some of these guys out of here. But yeah, I need to go corm hunting soon because I would like 2 full things of corms growing at a time. And then this back shelf here is mostly propagations. So I have a lot of these bins here. They're wet stick propagations. So I have a couple bins that are overdue that need potted up. Like this one is my pink princess that I chopped not that long ago. They're all starting to grow and sprout. Do you see them? Oh, that one has a leaf. Look how, oh, there's another leaf. I love seeing like their first little leaves come out. It is the cutest thing ever. Oh. So cute. And then I think this was like majestic moss pole. Look at their little leaves. And then, yeah, we have more moss pole props. So these ones are growing. It's going to be a while before they're actually ready. And then once they, you know, get too big, their leaves start hitting the container. And so I really need to get some of these out. So most of the plants that you see as a wet stick eventually turn into plants that I sell. So pretty much all the plants you see here were grown from a wet stick. It's crazy. Unless it's like a pothos, I have some Jessiana. Those I take from one of my mother plants, and then I have a begonia. That is a propagation from my mother plant. So some of these plants are propagations, you know, like from my monsteras. I have a few more water propagating here, and then I have some that I had potted up. So I'll probably, I feel like once this one grows another leaf, I'll be able to list this one, like a little monstera starter. And I have another couple of them here. Yeah, these I potted up not that long ago. I ran out of containers, so I need to order some more of these bins because I'd like to sit them in the bins instead of the trays because they do stay a little bit more hydrated. The only thing that gets full humidity are the ones in perlite, like all these Hoyas. These are propagations that are growing, so they'll do better under more humidity. And so once they've actually rooted, like some of these I can see their roots, then they'll get potted into my tree fern mix. These ones I potted up not too long ago, so they're not ready yet, but you can see some of their little nodes growing. So once they actually root more and start growing, then I'll move them up and then they'll be kind of more ready for sale. Like I feel like I could sell that one. It's rooted and it has like a few new leaves. So I kind of go through these and kind of pick the ones that I feel have rooted the most and have grown enough. And that's how I kind of pick the plants for the restock each week. And then as I pull plants out, I kind of reshuffle. I do like a shuffling game a lot, so that one bin, if one bin is getting empty, I kind of fit them into another bin so that another bin is filled, and that way I'll have an extra bin that I can start back from the bottom and do the propagations in. And then I also have some other plants up top. I have a linearis here that I prop from. That's one of my monstera elbows. It's growing all white. Well, it's doing this weird white pattern, so I'm just letting it chill up there. And then I have some more monsteras here, and then I have some syngonium. And then I think I had a couple, yeah, I had this import that I was, I have a propagation of this actually. So this is like the, is it the mint burl marks? Yeah, this is the mother that I chopped from, so it's growing back, but I did take a propagation. So I'll list that one once it grows a bit more. And then I have some epiprimitum that I chopped from. I have 2 gentianas, and then my mandula here that's in a pot. I prop this one all the time once it grows out more. And so the grow light situation, the 2 bars up top are new. So when I had just the 3 shelves, I had that little light and that little light. And so I separated them, so now the smaller lights are above the single shelves. And then these are actually Barina lights as well. So I have 8 Barina lights on the black shelves each, and then these are 4 foot long. So 8 times 5, there's 40 Barina lights on the shelf, 5 shelves, right? 8 times 5 is 40 Barina lights on the shelves, and then 4 more up ahead. So 44 grow lights in here. That's crazy. So that is the shop room. It is crazy. It's jam-packed, but I feel like it's gonna work very well. It's nice having everything in here. And then I have this little trash can here because I'm gonna be needing this for like packing day and plant care and stuff, and that way I don't have to dirty up the kitchen trash. I can have my own dedicated shop trash can. And so the only thing that isn't in here that I mentioned is this shelf here. Let me turn some light on. So this is going to be my substrate shelf. The aeroid mix for the shop is in that bin, so I can bag the rest of that up and put it here. I did actually find some white bags that are in the larger size, so I will be, once those, I think I have a little bit of the brown left. Once those are gone, then I'm gonna replace it with the white bags because I like the white bags. I like the look of them better. So yeah, I have a lot of pon out in the garage that will fill this shelf up in no time. And this is going to get completely redone as well. We have a storage shelf coming. It's pretty like tall. And so those 2 plants are going to be moved outside. And so I'm going to put my monstera albo, one of them here, like probably in this area. But yeah, this whole thing is getting redone. And then I am going to make a Hoya video very soon. I'm going to put this little shelf together, and this will be like all my Hoyas. That's going to be all Anthurium out there. But yeah, this corner was where my desk was, and now we moved this shelf here, and then my treadmill is, or walking pad is back here in the corner. But it's crazy. It's crazy that this was where I was sitting and editing for so long, and packing here at the kitchen table, I don't have to do that anymore. I just feel like the dining room is back to a dining room and not like a chaos box mess everywhere. My husband did tell me I could get another rhode cabinet. He's like, he really likes this one. He's like, that would look good over here. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, if you get another one, so that way it's even, do one here and one here. So I might take him up on that, because when this is all Hoya, this little shelf that I got isn't that big, so we're gonna need, I feel like I'm gonna need another small shelf, so that might be a future project. So this is my updated shop room, and I love it. I love having this space in here. And then obviously, like, I have the dedicated plant room, which is pretty much housing all of my mother plants and everything. But it's nice having this space, and it's gonna be nice having my husband help me a little bit too here and there when he can, because I feel like that's going to make things go a little bit more smoothly. And then if I'm able to sell more each week, I feel like that'll be good so that I can have more plants available for you guys. But yeah, I'm really excited for this space. I just feel so lucky to have this. And you know, I was packing at the kitchen table for so long now. I was actually, when I first started, I was packing at that dining room table that you just saw, and it was so low and just not ideal at all. And then like my back started hurting. I'm like, this is not ideal. And so I started packing at the kitchen table, and it helped. Like, it was more my height. And even though I did enjoy packing at the dining room table and stuff, it's nice not having to like keep going back and forth. And yeah, it's just nice having everything in here. I feel like I can keep an eye on the plants in here a lot more as well, because I'll be in here more at the computer. So I can just come in here and edit. And if I need like an editing break, I can set up my little table and just make some plants really quick, and I can keep an eye on things more. So I'm excited to have like this space. And I feel like it's a little bit more quiet here than out there, because out there the patio door we keep cracked, so sometimes like I can hear noise, like if mowers and stuff come, or it just feels a little bit more quiet back here, which is kind of nice. I was talking to my husband too that like maybe eventually I can talk to some wholesalers, maybe down in Florida, and just see what that process would be like, because it would be nice to bring some different plant varieties in. So I grow everything out through propagation through the mother plants that I have in my own collection, but that does take time to grow. But it would be nice to bring in on occasion like some new varieties of plants that I would temporarily grow and then sell, but I don't have to keep mother plants up, because it's nice to have new supply, for the shop, but I don't want like a million mother plants to care for either. So just some things I'm thinking about for the future. If I did do that, it would be like very rare, I feel like, because yeah, I do really enjoy the process of growing all these plants out. I think that's the most fun part about all this for me. But yeah, thank you again so much for being here, for your support with the shop. I literally am so grateful, and it's crazy that I've had over 1,000 orders already, and my shop's been open, just over a year. I think the end of March, beginning of April made a year, so it's crazy. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you again here very soon.